Washington, D.C. is the capital of the United States of America and one of the capitals of NBA talent in the country as well. If only the Wizards could capitalize on some of the local talent they have. Right now, there are 7 people born in Washington, D.C. that play in the NBA. This makes up 2% of Americans that play in the NBA, while Washington, D.C. makes up a little over 0.2% of the American population. Basically, that means there are about 10 times as many NBA players per capita from Washington, D.C. compared to the average American city. And the list of the following 5 players includes some of the biggest legends in the sport. The top 5 NBA players from Washington, D.C. A couple of shout-outs and notable players in the league from the DC area before we start the list. Quinn Cook was playing 22 minutes a game for the 2018 Championship Warriors. Also in the league are Patrick Patterson and Ed Davis, who have both spent 10 years in the NBA. Delonte West, who played a part in the contender Cleveland Cavaliers in LeBron's first time there, was also born in DC. Number 5, Austin Carr, the former number 1 overall pick and the AP Player of the Year in 1971. In his most productive season, Carr put up nearly 22 points and as a career, averaged 15.4 points per game. Carr was introduced to the Cavs as their first star. This is why he earned the nickname Mr. Cavalier. Carr spent most of his career with the Cavaliers, who now has retired his number and is in the College Basketball Hall of Fame. Number 4, Dave Bing, the number 2 pick of the draft in 1966. Bing had an unusual style of play at the time, as he was a playmaker who distributed the ball to his teammates, although he did much more shooting and scoring than other point guards at the time. He would be much less unusual these days. His first year in the league, he averaged 20 points per game, won Rookie of the Year, and then the following year, he led the league in scoring with 27.1 points per game. The 7-time All-Star had his number retired by the Pistons and is in the Basketball Hall of Fame. He carried his success into his post-basketball career, starting a successful steel company in Detroit, then became Detroit's 74th mayor and was initially successful. At the end of his first full term, however, his approval ratings dropped to 14%. Number 3, Adrian Dantley. Sorry to let you know, Anthony Davis, but Adrian Dantley is the original AD. He played 15 NBA seasons, made the All-Star team 6 times, and when he retired in 1991, he was 6th on the all-time scoring list. He averaged over 30 points per game 4 times while shooting over 60% true shooting percentage. There are only 16 seasons where an NBA player has done this. Adrian Dantley has 4 of them, and so does Michael Jordan. He was scoring champion twice, and his number 4 is retired by the team he spent the majority of his career with, the Utah Jazz. Number 2, Kevin Durant. A controversial move to the Warriors sent Durant some bad PR, but there's no denying Durant is and will go down as an all-time great. As of the time of this video, he has 1 MVP in 2014, 2 Finals MVPs, 2 NBA championships, 10 All-Stars, he's a member of the 50-40-90 club, 4 scoring titles, and 2 gold medals. If you exclude his rookie season where he won Rookie of the Year, he has averaged at least 25 points per game every year. Anything else? Oh, his number 35 is retired by the Longhorns after 1 season with them. Durant is about to release a documentary about why there are so many players that come out of Prince George's County, Maryland, which is great, because I'd love to know too. Number 1, Elgin Baylor. Elgin Baylor was Michael Jordan before Michael Jordan. Modern basketball began with Elgin Baylor. These are things reporters say about him. He was the first player to popularize between the legs dribbles, spin moves, and reverse layups. Maybe one of the most forgotten NBA players ever. And yet averaged 27.4 points per game and 13.5 rebounds per game throughout his career. But this includes the years after knee injuries, which happened halfway through his career, that would alter his path forever. His rookie year, he was 2nd in the league in scoring, 3rd in rebounding, and 8th in assists. At his peak, he averaged 38.3 points and 18.6 rebounds, and this is when he was a member of the Army Reserve. This means during the week, he was serving with the Army. On the weekends, as a part-time gig, he put up almost 40 points and almost 20 rebounds. He set the NBA record with 64 points in a single game, then broke it again with 71 points. Unfortunately, he met Bill Russell's Celtics every time he made the finals, but made the finals 8 times, and his record for 61 points in a finals game stands to this day. When he retired, only players with more points were Wilt Chamberlain and Oscar Robertson. Of course, these are just the players born in specifically Washington, D.C. The DMV area is even more dominant with NBA talent, and it is jaw-dropping. I will be making a video on the best players from the DMV area soon, so be sure to subscribe. And to see where Washington, D.C. ranks in terms of producing all-time NBA talent, and it's definitely in the top 5, be sure to check out the video on the screen.